Hello, welcome to Holistically Speaking. Happy New Year. This is our first show of the year, 2014. I am joined today by Dr. Suzy Harris, who's my friend. I've been to her practice, so I'm very excited to have her with me today on the very first show of the year. And I just want to remind you, I was just sharing with Suzy, our mission at the show is to be the avenue through which the voices of holistic health reach you at the times you need it most. Suzy and I were talking about the belief that I think we share that freedom begins with choice and choice begins with information. So we're all about bringing you information so you know what different things, incredible things like Suzy does are out there that you can explore. And I am so happy to have you with me. I think it's going to be really fun. Because what you do is so different and very powerful. I know because I've experienced it. Yeah. So welcome, Suzy.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm so psyched to be here and be a part of the energy you're putting forward, bringing this information out to people.
Cool.
All the different ways to touch things holistically whenever we can.
Cool. Well, and I couldn't do it without guests, so thank you.
Okay.
So, Suzy, what you do is called nutrition response testing.
That's right.
And I can bet that the majority of the people who are watching this have either never heard about it or when they hear about it, they do not picture what I know you do. So would you like to start by describing what nutrition response testing is?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, essentially, it doesn't replace any other approach that someone might be involved in with trying to correct health issues they're experiencing. The technique does not diagnose or allow us to treat any kind of disease. It really is just a tool that we can use to get information directly from people's bodies to try and see if there are barriers present within the body that can be stopping them from getting results with what they've been trying.
So you ask the body what barriers it might be having.
Yeah, I mean, how it works is we're able, through the use of applied kinesiology muscle testing, and for people who get interested in it, we do have informational classes that teach the science behind it. But the short story is you can use muscle strength testing to access reactions in the nervous system. So for example, if someone has a strong muscle and you place a stress on the body, there's a bit of a fight or flight nervous system reaction to that stress, and the arm will go weak because of it. And it's not a weak muscle, it's a nervous system reaction to the fact we just did something that stressed the body. So you might be glad to know it's not a big drama that we do to stress the body. But essentially, once we discern that the person has a strong muscle we can work with, it's usually the arm because it's easy to have someone just resist a little pressure on their arm. We're contacting acupuncture points that are connected to organs. So if an organ is currently under stress for some reason, and we stimulate it additionally by touching its acupuncture point, it irritates the nervous system when I do that, and that causes the arm to go weak.
So let's say if you have an issue with your liver, for example, you touch the acupuncture point for the liver. That's right. And I know there's one like right under the knee on the right leg, right? So you touch that point, and it's almost like the liver goes ouchy, and so it gets...
Yeah, it's like a fight or flight nervous system reaction. So for a moment, voluntary muscle control is a little bit dampened. So you can pick up the body's reactions to the stimulus. So the first layer is to go through and find what organs might be testing as aggravated. Once you identify which organs are experiencing that, we have these homeopathic test kits that are, again, interesting to explain, which we do in a deeper way in our classes that are for people that are engaged in the work to understand the science behind it. But you can, with these kits, identify the reasons why, or some of the reasons anyway, an organ might be testing weak. And primarily we're testing for things like metal toxicities, a lot of people experiencing mercury, aluminum, lead, arsenic, things like that. Chemical toxicities, food preservatives, pesticides, plastics, acetates, and then food sensitivities. A lot of times people come in with foods they're eating they don't realize are stressing their system, There's no symptom for them. They feel fine after they eat that
Right.
food, but we're picking up that that food actually is creating
Yeah.
some stress in the body.
Yeah.
So chemicals, metals, foods, and then immune challenges. A lot of people, lots of people, are walking around with low-grade, chronic, subclinical, no symptoms maybe, immune challenges like bacterial loads or fungal or parasitic loads that are part of what's causing a lot of
Yeah.
inflammation and digestive issues, asthma, allergies, headaches, you name it.
So just to kind of backpedal a little bit, because I'm thinking, hearing you say all of these things, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many possibilities. And kind of putting myself in the shoes of maybe somebody watching at home, so they come to you, and what does it typically look like? What do they, if you were to give them a mental picture of what this is like, what would happen?
Sure. So the first step, there's quite a bit of form filling out because we want to get a full health background and all that good stuff. Listening is a big part, hearing what's been going on, what are they going through, what have they tried, what's worked, what's not working. And then we run this test, it's called the heart rate variability. It's a heart rate monitor goes on the body and it's connected to a computer software. The person's lying down and we're recording nervous system activity coming from the heart while they're lying down, and at a certain point they stand up and we continue to measure the nervous system activity. This gives me information about the nervous system's function. Is the nervous system showing all the right responses to standing? Because if it is not, we have to handle that first, because I'm using that system within the muscle testing to get accurate information. So that heart rate test is first. Everything goes well there. The person is back on the table, lying on their back. It's a massage table, clothes on. And usually their arm is in the air, and I'm putting light pressure on their arm while I'm contacting the different acupuncture points on their bodies, looking for those weak reflexes. Once we find the weak reflexes, these kits, these are the homeopathic test kits. It would be open halfway and lying on the body. So I don't know if you want me to get into explaining that at this point, but
well, let's hold on that one. But you put this on the body and you continue testing.
That's right. So with this kit on the body, you're going back and testing those weak reflexes. Any of the weak reflexes that become strong with the kit on the body, that's an indication something in this kit is part of what's creating the aggravation for the organ. So then we open it and we go vial by vial. Well, what was that?
Which is a little counterintuitive, it seems.
Right. It seems like strong is good, so it can't be bad. So we're looking for a change in the muscle testing.
Gotcha.
Rather.
So I'm just kind of go through the steps to make sure that I'm following and maybe the people are following as well. So I'm laying on your table and I put my arm up and you're testing my muscle strength. So my arm's strong, and then just to stay with the liver example. So if I have an issue with my liver, you touch my liver point and then my arm goes weak.
That's right.
And you're like, oh, there's something going on with the liver.
Correct.
So then you take one of these kits and you put it on my body. You press the liver point again.
That's right.
And then if the arm goes strong, then there's something in that kit that's related to what's causing the issue for my liver.
That is correct.
Yay!
Isn't it fun? It's super easy. My job is so much fun, and it's got a lot of, there's so much laughter. Because people can't believe when their arms go weak, first of all. They're like, try that again. Oh my, try that again. And then when the kit makes such an obvious change from weak to strong, it's just, there's a lot of laughter, and there's a lot of, I feel like restoration of hope and restoration of trust, because people kind of know a little bit. They have an idea of they have a suspicion of things that could be affecting, but it's not picked up in blood labs or MRIs or diagnostic testing many times because it's not disease level yet. So we can pick things up that are functionally irritating. So I love that part of watching people just go, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense. I can line this up with a story that makes sense to me.
Of course. Well, and you probably also find what I have come across with a lot of my clients, for example, thyroid is a classic example.
Right.
Somebody says, I know I have a thyroid, a sluggish thyroid, but
Yep.
I go to the doctor and I get my blood work and my doctor says your thyroid's fine.
Right.
You're in the range.
Right.
But then they probably come to you and are saying, yeah, your thyroid is a little weak. You're still fitting the range. Do you find that?
I find that a lot, and actually what's interesting is there is a part of the technique that lets you prioritize which of the weak organs is the body's highest concern.
Yeah.
So I may find the thyroid goes weak, the liver goes weak, and the large intestine, let's say.
Yeah.
And when we get into the prioritizing, the body will lead us to, hey, the bowel is actually my priority. If we
Yeah.
clear the issues with the gut, and now you're able to detox more functionally, absorb nutrients more functionally, the thyroid often corrects itself.
Yeah.
Not in every case. Everybody's so different. That's why,
Right.
again, I love the muscle testing for the clinical, individualized
Yeah.
ability that it gives you for each person.
Well, and the beauty about what I'm hearing you say and knowing how you practice is that it's not coming from your head. It's not coming from your opinion of what people should be doing. You're
Right.
essentially following what the body seems to be saying.
That's right.
And I think also when you were talking about people's surprise and, you know, the laughter and all of that, is that what's great about your technique is that it takes away any sort of opinion or feeling about what they should be having or not having. It's just the body doing it. They can try to control it, but
Yeah.
the body doesn't
Right.
lie.
And I have to tell you, as a practitioner, it takes the pressure off the doctor or
Right.
whatever type practitioner is using this, because you know, you do a lot of training and you do have to have a background to understand, you know, health issues and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But when the body is the one that you're gleaning the information from, it really leads you down a path that gets such great results. And I think if I were employing my own knowledge,
Yeah.
we would trip over it
Right.
more often than not, because
Oh, yeah.
because the body may not want to go the direction that, no matter how much you know,
Yeah.
it's not always appropriate to that body.
Right. And so you have, so is it just these 2 kits or do you have more kits?
These are the basic ones. These test for the chemicals, metals, immune challenges, and food sensitivities.
Okay.
And then I didn't mention scar tissue. We also check for that. I don't have a kit full of scars, thankfully. That would be strange.
that would be a little weird.
Just to kind of expand beyond the identifying the stressor, we call these, once you find out what the basic stressor might be, you proceed to what the remedy would be for that issue. So the whole food supplements, the herbs, the homeopathic remedies, the poison and the antidote will give similar reactions in the muscle testing. So
Oh, interesting.
if the kit's on the body and the liver goes strong and we identify through touching vials, it's a mercury toxicity.
Yeah.
We take the kit off the body, and now I can go test the different remedies that I use that pull mercury from the body.
Right.
If I put bentonite clay, which is very successful many times at pulling chemicals and metals on the body, but it does not strengthen that liver weak reflex, we're not using that one. It didn't
Right.
test well. So chlorella on the body, it goes strong, that's
Yeah.
what we're going to use.
Right.
And I was explaining that at this point because how we are able to check for scars is we put the remedy for scars on the body.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so if the wheat germ oil on the body strengthens that weak liver, we know a scar of some sort is playing a role of interfering with healing.
Cool.
So we would address
So
that.
I need to put that scar tissue reference on the parking lot because I really want to come back to that.
Okay.
Because it's so interesting. So here, of course, we only have the one camera and we can't zoom in, but these are all little vials of. So this one here is aluminum. So if you put this and it tests positive that it's something in this vial, then you would go one by one to see which one of these it is.
That's right. Which one? And
Okay.
sometimes it's more than one.
And okay, so it could be more than one. And then you start with the remedies.
That's right.
Cool.
And, you know, once you realize aluminum and you find the whole food or herbal supplement that you're going to use to detox that
Yeah.
metal, I do have a kit. There are more kits than these.
Yeah.
There is a kit that quantifies, again, in a homeopathic way, what level of severity is this toxicity. If it's at the highest level, we write that in the chart. The person leaves with the remedy, they take that for a week, they come back and we check in a week, is the aluminum coming down or not? Cool. And so alongside taking the supplements, because they are temporary, they're meant to be used therapeutically to handle the issue we found, and then through food coaching and lifestyle, looking where's that aluminum coming from. It's in your antiperspirant, it's in your Advil, it's in your aluminum pans. So we try to help the person identify where it's coming from, because the overall goal of this program is self-sufficiency. A person starts to understand on a deeper level how their body works, how their environment and their diet is affecting how well they're doing, and what can they be doing, how much control can they have, which is a lot, as you know, from the work you do.
And so helping them understand what is the root cause of the liver toxicity or the aluminum toxicity or whatever, so that they can change the cause. As opposed to just taking a remedy for a symptom.
That's right.
So, and I just want to point out to our viewers, some of the things that Suzy can test for are food allergies, like are you sensitive to wheat, oats, rye, corn, soy, brown rice, sugar, brown sugar, egg yolks, whole eggs, milk, cheese, you know, all of these different food sensitivities. And then also different bacteria, different viruses. I know you do parasites as well, so testing for parasites and all of these, and fungus, I'm sure, right?
Yep.
So it's just a really comprehensive testing that you do.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you for some stories, but I've got the scar tissue on the parking lot here.
Okay.
So where does this scar tissue come from? I'm sure a lot of people are sitting at home thinking, well, I don't have any scars.
Yeah.
You know, where does the scar tissue come from?
Well, typically they would be scars that crossed several layers of skin. So if someone had an injury that needed stitches, or surgery sites, including exploratory, even those small, seemingly insignificant around the belly button type exploratory surgeries, dental extractions, tattoos, piercings.
Oh, wow.
Right? So, you know, it's not that the scar is going to be gone as we're treating it, but we're looking to soften it, get it to heal deeper. Sometimes scars are hanging on to toxins like metals or immune challenges. And without going too deeply into detail about it, the short story is scar tissue creates an aggravation to the nervous system in a way that can block regulation. That involuntary nervous system is running heart rate, breath rate, healing, digestion, immune cycles. And scars can actually be a barrier between the brain and central nervous system and the body and how they communicate with one another. So if you soften the scar, get it to heal a little deeply, a little more deeply, you can get it to stop.
Interesting. You know, it's funny because I have scar tissue and I've no significant surgery or anything like that. It was from a fall down a set of stairs. Never broke the skin or anything, but the impact was so hard that it actually kind of created some severe trauma in the skin and layers of muscle and whatever. So there's like this little, you know, it's on my side.
Like adhesions.
Yeah, and it is ridiculously painful.
You should come in.
I should
again.
come in. So I would love to hear some of your favorite stories, or at least one favorite story of what your work with nutrition response testing has achieved.
Wow. You know, I have to say, I feel like one of the luckiest people ever, because my job is so full of just loving moments of watching people come out of their frustrating loop and get in front of something that was quite in their way or was scaring them or whatever, making them feel they couldn't understand what was going on. Geez, if I think of one of the most current things, there are patients, because there are more than one that fit this story, coming in with diagnoses of Crohn's disease, let's say. So quite debilitating. Chronic fatigue, mood swings, headaches, can't really leave their homes without planning where all the restrooms are around town.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and for some, now I do have someone specific in my mind, an elder who truly was becoming quite isolated because this person's experience was really keeping them home and keeping them feeling poorly. And really, it was just a matter of identifying certain foods. This person was really dedicated to making the changes. We found mercury, we found parasites. And through the course of diet shifting and taking the remedies, as long as it took, it's not the same for everybody.
Right.
This person is back to vital and out doing activities with people in the community.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing I love about it most is he understands what affects him.
Yeah.
So you do not have to be living this pristine, perfect life and taking supplements forever. What he has in his hands now is when he makes his choice to go ahead and do some things he knows can trigger him, they trigger him not nearly as severely.
Right.
He knows exactly what's going on, and he knows exactly what to do to get out of it. So the fear is not there, the where is my life going is not there, and he's back living a lifestyle, being able to go visit his grandkids. And I don't know, there's so many stories like that. Children, wow. I mean, to capture situations before they go down that rabbit hole of incorrect information and medications and surgeries is really quite profound to see.
Sure. So what are some of the, I don't know, conditions or symptoms like Crohn's disease that you have seen really great results with, and maybe are the kind of conditions where people just feel pretty hopeless? Like with Crohn's disease, a lot of people just feel like there's nothing that they can do about it.
Right.
You know, they're tethered to a bathroom, avoid all of the food triggers, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So are there any other ones that you would say, hey, if you're out there and you're dealing with this, there's definitely another alternative for you? Or can you think of any?
Well, you know, I would say because we are going in at a level of looking at nervous system function and then barriers to the body's ability to balance itself and regulate itself, when you clear those barriers and the body is able to digest, absorb, and detox, you have decreased inflammation, you have increased nutrient absorbability. So I know it sounds a little hokey, but there isn't a health concern that wouldn't improve with that.
Right.
Not all will go away. I mean, we're co-treating many people who are either cancer survivors or currently getting their way through with cancer, MS, cerebral palsy, these things that seem untouchable.
Right.
I'm not saying this cures any of that, but when you clear the body's ability to decrease inflammation and increase hormonal balancing and increase blood sugar balancing, you'll get improvements in these diseases that really are probably more than likely not going to go away.
Right.
Down from that level of severity, cardiac disease, diabetes, chronic migraines, infertility, hormone imbalances, ADHD, depression.
Yeah, well, you know what you're saying what it makes me think of is the founder of the school I attended, Integrative Nutrition.
Yeah.
He says very frequently, I'm sure he's still saying it, when you give the body what it needs, you know, the body will heal itself.
That's right.
And that's essentially what you're doing. You're helping to remove the obstacles, giving the body what it needs. And so you're not curing anything, you're just helping the body cope better, heal better, you know, just be able to eat foods and lower inflammation, and people are feeling better. So whether you're curing or not is irrelevant. They just feel better.
Yeah, I mean, whoever designed this body put a pretty miraculous thing together. Pretty miraculous.
Yeah. So is there anything, you know, we have a few more minutes, is there anything that you feel people need to know? And
you know, I think out of anything, I mean, I feel over the last couple of years where my heart has landed with this work is, like you in the work that you're doing, I feel what people need is to keep being exposed to resources, information resources, so they can keep learning about their bodies and what might be in the way of getting to a place they want to go with their health, and to keep getting the language together to be able to ask great questions of any practitioner that they're working with. We need everybody. We need the medical community, we need the naturopathic community, acupuncture, chiropractic, nutrition. even, you know, a lot of the energy body techniques and things that address emotional stress and handling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming in for a consult with us, we can give you some specific information that might let you bring your work that you may be doing already with someone else to a higher level, or perhaps you engage with us to let us take you somewhere with the work that we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and it's been a beautiful experience just recently where we had an opportunity to do precisely that, to work with someone together where, you know, I was offering the nutrition coaching, and it was so comforting in a way and very reassuring to have her go see you, see what you found, what answers. And it was reassuring in the sense that we were following a path that you were agreeing with. And so I was able to provide nutrition coaching, but your information, you know, it's like you get very concrete answers. And so I think what it helps with for people is just almost to eliminate any sense that you're guessing, you know, that you're just, well, I think we could do this or that. You're very specific in the information that you can get. So
yeah, especially with the natural healing process of the body can take time. And if you can't tell if you're on the right track, it's hard to stick with it. And I think this technique lets people see, okay, actually I am improving. The issues are here, they make sense, I'm going to stick with it, and they take it through to get the results.
So I want to see if we can show viewers the link to the screenshot with the website for Suzy. Let's see if we can get that on. Just so people can see, oh, that's our title page.
Nice.
It should be the next one. So there we go. It's cedarwoodnaturalhealthcenter.com.
That's right.
That's your center, and you're in Burlington, right?
We recently moved to South Burlington.
South Burlington.
We're just off of Shelburne Road behind Shaw's, back by Sports and Fitness Edge.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so South Burlington, very close to the heart of Burlington.
That's right.
And your blog is healforreal.wordpress.com.
That's right.
So again, if you want to find Suzy, well, you can contact me if you can't find it, but cedarwoodnaturalhealthcenter.com. That's where you can schedule an appointment.
Sounds great.
Find you out. So we have about 30 seconds. Is there any last parting words?
You know, I really would spend 30 seconds thanking you because to me, it's such an amazing time. I feel like people's awareness is rising, that there are medicinal properties all around us. We just need to tag into where the right ones are for each of us. And I think yourself, myself, and all the other practitioners that are working collaboratively, I'm grateful.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining me. And thank you for watching. Again, if you feel like you need some very concrete answers to something that's bothering you about your body, go see Suzy, because she has a really unique way of doing it. Thank you for joining us. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay.